Was the Virgin Mary impregnated by an alien? The Apocrypha, the biblical works rejected by the Church as canon, give us some different perspectives on the events of our biblical past. The Book of Bartholomew, for example, tells us that Mary was visited by two angels and that one of them had an evening with her. During this interaction, the angel-like being declared that she would carry his child. Bartholomew was one of the 12 disciples of Christ. He's briefly mentioned in the 4 main Gospels of the New Testament, simply within the list of the 12 apostles. Apart from the list, Bartholomew is not mentioned anywhere else. There is no backstory to Bartholomew throughout the Bible. All we can assume is that his Jewish name, Bartholomew, means son of Talmai, another mysterious man. Interestingly, St. John in his Revelation does not mention Bartholomew among the apostles, but does mention a Nathanael in the text. And because of this, many scholars have been led to believe that Nathanael and Bartholomew are one and the same. This is interesting because in John, Jesus finds affinity with Nathanael and prophesies that he specifically will witness the ascending and descending of angels. The earliest extra-biblical history of Bartholomew comes from the work of Eusebius of Caesarea in the 4th century. Eusebius was a Greek historian of Christianity, theologian, and scholar. He also became the bishop of a small Roman province in Syria. He was highly respected as an academic force within the church. Eusebius details in his ecclesiastical history that Bartholomew traveled to India to spread the gospel. Among India, later sources also detailed that he visited Armenia. Many scholars and theologians have added to this apocryphal legend over the centuries. Italian writer and Archbishop of Genoa from the 13th century, Jacobus de Voragine, added to the history of Bartholomew within his famous book known as the Golden Legend. A popular book with more than 1,000 manuscripts still existent today, it details some of Bartholomew's adventures through the Middle East and Asia. Voragine recounts a story wherein Bartholomew travels through an Indian town and rids its people of the demon Astaroth. During his escapade of healing and helping the townspeople, Bartholomew cures the niece of the king from demon possession. The king is ultimately infuriated at Bartholomew because the saint continues to rid the people of idol worship and subdues the gods of his religion. According to Voragine, the king captured Bartholomew and martyred him. The many legends of Bartholomew agree that he was a powerful disciple of Christ who traveled far and wide to heal and preach. They also agree that he was ultimately skinned alive and crucified upside down. His martyrdom is also portrayed in various famous artwork. In Michelangelo's Last Judgment, Bartholomew can be seen to the right of Jesus holding his old flesh. The Book of Bartholomew, also sometimes referred to as the Questions of Bartholomew, was outlawed by the Church in the 5th century by the Gelasian decree. Like most of the Apocrypha that were left out of the Bible, the Gospel of Bartholomew is strange and holds a more esoteric perspective on the teachings and life of Christ and the apostles. It exists in 3 languages, Greek, Latin, and Slavonic. The Greek manuscript is the oldest, going back to the 5th century. In M.R. James's 1924 translation, we read many fascinating things. Among those is the already mentioned occasion where Mary reveals to Bartholomew that she had an encounter with an angel of light who drank wine and ate bread with her. During this interaction, the angel declared that Mary would carry its child. The Bible tells a similar tale, stating that she was visited by the angel Gabriel, who announced that she would become pregnant with the child of God. What differs in Bartholomew's version is that Mary reveals she met an angel who told her that she would specifically bear his child. The Book of Bartholomew also describes Jesus taking the apostles on a trip to the bottomless pit to see the chained-up fallen angels. As they were down there, Jesus called the angels to bring up the great devil Satan, who was huge and bound up by chains. The apostles froze in fear at the sight of Satan. Bartholomew, like the others, was full of dread and fear, but Jesus assured him that he was safe. Bartholomew was then given the authority to talk to Satan and ask him a few questions. Among these, Bartholomew asks Satan how he's able to deceive the world. Satan replies by saying, and I quote, "If I were able to go forth by myself, I would have destroyed the whole world in 3 days. But neither I nor any of the 600 go forth, for we have other swift ministers whom we command, and we furnish them with a hook of many points, and send them forth to hunt, and they catch for us souls of men." An interesting thing that is stated in the text is that Simon Magus, the famous heretic considered the founder of Gnosticism and possibly the modern-day Judeo-Christian esoteric teachings, is a brother to Satan. The Apocrypha are amazing texts and pieces of church history. My favorite part about the book of Bartholomew is the last question Bartholomew has for Jesus, and Jesus' answer, which goes as follows. "And again, Bartholomew said unto him, Lord, is it lawful for me to reveal these mysteries unto every man? Jesus said unto him, Bartholomew, my beloved, as many as are faithful and are able to keep them unto themselves, to them mayest thou entrust these things. For some there are that be worthy of them, but there are also other some unto whom it is not fit to entrust them, for they are vain, and also they are secret, because of those that cannot contain them. For as many as can contain them shall have a part in them. Therefore, my beloved, have I spoken unto thee, for blessed art thou and all thy kindred, which of their choice have this word entrusted unto them."